2026 has definitely been a really interesting year so far. We got so many leaks, rumors, information, and games revealed that make no sense whatsoever. But now we just got a recent Star Fox remake for the fourth time. And potentially later on this year, we are set to get the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. Now, what exactly does this mean? Well, if you take a look at it, you'll realize that these are both N64 games. And as time goes on, the N64 gets more and more outdated, way quicker than any other platform. Like, you could still play NES games, you could still play Super Nintendo games without an issue, without them seeming super old. But the N64, the controls are getting outdated more and more as time goes on, and the gameplay, well, it's definitely really interesting. So in this video, we'll be discussing everything on what this could mean for Nintendo moving forward, and everything associated to that. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so if we take a look at it, there are so many fantastic N64 games, and honestly, I think Nintendo has just proven or shown that they are ready and willing to remaster those games. Because if you haven't noticed already, game development time for a brand new game takes longer and longer every single year. Because if you looked at it, we used to get a brand new 3D Mario, every 3 years or so? Then that got pushed over to 10 years, which is definitely really crazy when you come to think about it. But now we can look at it and see potentially they're going to do this whole thing where they're going to remaster the games, and then we're also going to get new games associated to that. So the one game that you would probably like to see getting a full ground up remake would probably be Mario 64. That could be a game that could definitely happen, because for the longest time, that has been the crown jewel of speedrunning for Mario, and seeing how fast you can beat this certain level and whatever. Now, this game did get a remake on the DS, which was Mario 64 DS, which was honestly really cool. You had so many new characters and features and game modes and little mini games in that game, which was honestly really awesome. But seeing on the Nintendo Switch 2 with ray tracing, new colors, light, and everything come to life would definitely be really awesome. Could this be exactly what Nintendo's planning? The two biggest games, or should we say the four biggest games, get a whole brand new light in 2026, 7, 8, 9, 10? Hey, it definitely could happen. So honestly, I think that all of these things are definitely leading up to Nintendo's plan for the future. Now, if we look at the N64 games, which game would need a remaster or a remake the most? Okay, so if we looked at the list, you could probably think of a couple games that could require a remaster or remake, and this could definitely happen. 2030, I can see another one of these games if we get the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time come out to the system, and that would be the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Now, that game is definitely a really interesting game, but seeing a remaster in that specific year would definitely be awesome, or a full ground up remake depending on how detailed the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time becomes. Honestly, that would be fantastic. Majora's Mask is, like a lot of you's probably favorite game on how unique and different the dungeons and puzzles are. If I was going to be completely honest, I never liked the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. In fact, I never even liked N64 games until now. I'm really interested in Star Fox, and I'm really interested in the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Because of course I am. I love the Legend of Zelda, and while Star Fox definitely looks really cool, and I'm a big fan of visuals that actually look good. This is something that I've always liked. Games that actually look really good. Even if the gameplay itself might not be the greatest, for some reason, if the game just looks good, I'm just drawn to it. For some reason, I have no idea. But then another game that we can look at is potentially Kirby Crystal Shards. Because if you ever played that game, oh boy, that's an interesting one. That's a really interesting Kirby game. If we are set to get remasters and remakes of other games, we can talk about Nintendo's remasters as being just a port, because most of the time when Nintendo claims it to be a remaster, it's usually just a port with additional content, which I guess you can consider it to be a remaster, but usually I look at that and say, it's pretty much just a port with additional content. So potentially we could see Kirby Crystal Shards as a remake, like a ground up remake that would add a bunch of different things. That would definitely be really awesome for the series. And potentially even Paper Mario. taking some of the greatest games and flipping them on its head is completely possible in the realm of infinite possibilities. Same thing goes with Pokemon Stadium. This is a game that you probably look at and you're like, wow, that was actually a great Pokemon game. It had so many things to offer, so potentially Nintendo or the Pokemon company is going to decide to jump over and make another one. Like if you look at it, Pokemon Snap just got the new Pokemon Snap sort of edition with the Nintendo Switch 2, which was kind of like the original, but also like a brand new thing. So potentially that's what Nintendo is planning. Same thing could go for Super Smash Bros. Although we don't have that on the N64 Nintendo Switch Online thing, maybe they're planning something for that game. There's definitely a lot of other games that we could look at and say potentially these are coming or potentially not. But if you look at it, for sure, some games even made an appearance in other games, like Mario Party. Well, Mario Party Superstar pretty much was that remaster of all the original 3 Mario Party, like 1, 2, and 3. It pretty much added all the maps into like a mainline Switch game, which was definitely really awesome. So overall, I definitely think that Nintendo could be planning to do something more with the N64. Because as I say, every single year, the N64, it seems like it gets older and it ages faster than any other service, any other platform. Maybe that's why we haven't seen some of the games on the N64, because they're hard to play. Yeah, let's just say that. They're hard to play in 2026. Could be completely wrong. Maybe I'm just a weakling when it comes to N64 games. But really, when you look at it, all of the other games, like the Wii, you can easily play that in 2026. The GameCube, you can play that in 2026. Who knows? The Super Nintendo, I'll play that in 2026. But the N64 just feels like janky and gimmicky and just super weird, and it kind of makes you frustrated at the game. Maybe I just get frustrated really fast, but you know, it's the N64. It's something. Overall, I honestly believe that Nintendo is probably going to remaster. The one big one is probably the Super Mario 64. That could probably get another remaster or remake. And also the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. These are the 2 games that I'll probably say, yeah, these are going to be coming in the future. So probably what's going to happen in 2027, we're going to get the next, like the actual next. It's been 10 years since the last 3D Mario, so we are going to be getting the next 3D Mario in 2027. And then after that, we could potentially see Super Mario 64 remake in like 2028 or something like that, because you know, they want to remake that game. That game would probably sell pretty well, because it's like sort of where you consider that's a good game, that's really a good game. And then Majora's Mask, if the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time sells well, or if they just want to, because they usually tend to remaster those games together. Like they released on the same platform and they got a remaster at the same time, which was the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D and the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. So potentially if they release on the Nintendo Switch 2, whatever they're going to call it, are they going to call it The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Switch 2? And then they're going to release another one, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask Switch 2. So overall, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section down below, and thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And anyways, thank you so much. See you in the next one.